Hello, good morning. Sharing some words of wisdom. I don't know if you have ever had this experience with someone who is depressed and he or she is sharing a conversation with you. Give chance to this person by showing him or her that you are an ear listener. Give a chance to this person to talk, and not necessarily because you are a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever. No, it's just by sharing. You give a chance to the person, as I said, talking person. You give word here and there. You give a slack to the conversation. You don't interrupt you. Afterward, this person, depressed person, feels great. He said to you, I don't know, whenever I talk to you, I share a conversation with you, I feel great, I feel better. Before I felt, I don't know, really I was a lot depressed, but now I feel great. And then maybe you attribute this to yourself and you say, well, maybe I'm a champion. Well, the question is not I'm a champion or anything. There was no condition of risk, because of such, therefore, which implies the person was expressing his brain, not his mouth, verbalizing his brain, and you allowed it. And if you know how to conceive those words, to welcome them, not by pinpointing the problem, not by isolating him, you are by yourself, and me, I'm here, spectator, by sharing empathically, sympathetically with the person. That's what allows those things to flow. What are those things? Words? No, they are not words. I don't know. Thoughts? Maybe. There was a flow in the brain. There was a flow of those chemically induced agents that are manufactured by the hypothalamus. All the person's mood are chemically induced. Dopamine, serotonin, GABA, keep going. So look at that. There was no such an interruption, such a thing. But today you are present, perhaps another time you are not. So, as I said, after talking to this person, the mood of the person when he is depressed, it is believed, of course, scientifically, that there is a lack of serotonin, which is the most, perhaps, the champion one in the brain. Sometimes it is an interruption. Serotonin is not reaching all the parts in the brain. There was an interruption. I wrote some certain things here. These chemical agents act as a neurotransmitter, a type of chemical that helps relay signals from one area of the brain to another. It is believed that an imbalance in serotonin levels may influence mood in a way that leads to depression. Now, what are the possible problems regarding a lack of serotonin? It could be a low brain cells production of serotonin. It could be an inability of serotonin to reach the receptor sites. Or it could be a shortage of tryptophan. I had no problem pronouncing this word. Tryptophan. Okay, Tryptophan. The chemical from which serotonin is made. So, human being, a modern man, not today, modern all the time, human being is modern, The modern man lives a lot with a lot of structures, a lot of systems, a lot of calculations. We live like this. This is not to criticize, because we are like this. In the title, I said serotonin is from heaven. Okay. Human being wants to live autonomic. He wants to live autonomous. He is a part of the universe. You cannot. You have a relationship in this universe. You cannot isolate it, because the brain itself is the universe. So you cannot, the person say, no, I live with my autonomous uniqueness. This uniqueness is resulted, that's fine. I don't know it. I don't know. People, they see you as a champion. They see you afterwards, a mathematician, whatever. But it was resulted by itself. He did not seek it initially. We're going to go to 3 dimensions. When I say a dimension, it's not a ruler from 0 to 20 centimeters. You say a dimension that is constantly either in expansion or constriction. Fluctuation, call it whatever, centripetal, centrifugal. So the dimension is not constant. A prophet, peace be upon him, mentioned 3 dimensions about human being in this existence. His existence, 3 dimensions about his relationship. Now, when we speak about relationship in general, the kid, you teach the kid to go to school, to study. So the dimensions, there's no such a dimension. We are occupied, preoccupied, or centered in work nexus, even at school. The kid from his early age, then high school, then university, is centered in work nexus, thinking only in the work nexus, how to deal with work, with the work and colleagues. So he exists only in the work nexus. When you speak about other things, relationship, it's not important for most of people. So the relationship, he divided it into 3. There's a relationship with the creator, then with the self, and then with people. So it cannot be. It has to be juxtaposed this way. If a person say, look, I don't believe in religion. We're not talking about religion. We are talking about conscience. So difference, I'm not talking to you about religion. I'm saying consciousness. So the first one is towards your sacredness. The sacredness is to your God. When you say, a person says, I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist. Well, you don't believe in God, there is a certain sacredness. Le sacré, towards, is existing intuitively inside you. If you fail or devoid to see any kind of sacredness outside you, then you are sacred. It's because you glorify the self. And that's the biggest danger. Because the sacredness has to go to certain direction as a laser. If it reaches place, it gets a rebound to you. It makes you sacred according to that idolatry. Believe in anything you want. That's what we mean. You're the sacredness, le sacré, it gets you certain, and then it comes back, it will have a rebound on you to shape you according to that shape. If you chose the divinity, here you are navigating beyond time and space. So he said in the first one, he said, fear, the word in Arabic say اتق الله حيثما كنت واتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن. So the first one is a dimension towards the creator. In other words, you say fear God anywhere you are, anyhow you are, anytime, anyhow, anywhere. What do we mean to fear? The interpretation, I'm not looking at it from that particular side, is to have this remembrance with the Creator, because it is giving your brain this kind of expansion. Not necessarily because you are a very religious person. No, I'm talking about your mind, how the brain is. The brain is seeking itself, seeking certain sacredness. So when you try to give a chance to this brain to live that sacredness that is not known, we say in Arabic, you hear this, about likeness and likeness, التشبيه والتنزيه. I mean, people know it, especially if they study these books. They speak about التشبيه. The way you describe the creator, a description known, that's التشبيه. Here comes التنزيه to eliminate any kind of likeness. That is giving it to your brain. You're not doing it, doing God a favor. So, getting back to the dimension, what is the dimension here? You're talking about the dimension. I don't know. Dimension for us is to measure, to say. You know where reside the energy of the bootstrap, or call it where the hypothalamus is, where reside, is when you work in this world, you claim, you achieve, you acquire. If you acquire it, it is stagnant. Okay, I worked for this beautiful watch. It's called Citizen. Beautiful, expensive. It was a gift, by the way, I didn't buy it. Hey, you acquire it. It's in your possession. It's new. Nobody is asking you to give it as a charity, but you don't claim it. You say, thank God that gave me this faculty. These kind of things, this power, you reject it, not rejection. You give credit, thanks to God. And you give it, don't claim it. This one will be diversified. It will flow even though it is in your hand, in your acquisition. Because everything has to do with the brain. Relation with the human being, with the self. Intrapersonal. The first one is theoethical dimension. The second one is a psychoethical dimension. And the last one is a socio-ethical dimension. So the second one, he say, follow your bad deeds, bad, with the good deeds. If you follow, you have recognized that it was a mistake or an infraction or a sin. You admit it. You know, in our life, the way we think about our mistakes in general, the mistake we put them, they piled up, and we leave them, we go. But from the mistake, from the sin itself, there is a power beneath that mistake, that thing. You say, when you go to ask God forgiveness, that's not word. You can say a word, and with the brain, he say, follow it with something good. This is, you are creating a patriot. You go deeply in the deep of your subconscious, in the deep of your ocean, and the process of retrieval. A person leaves it there, and then he lives handicapped without realizing where is the source of the problem. Thinks they're going to cloud the brain. The person doesn't know. It becomes foggy. You are aware of what you have in your own kingdom. Go deep in your process of retrieval. That's a mistake. That kind of it will be transformed into a power. That's the process of Jesus Christ, by the way. I'm sorry, I said Jesus Christ. What Jesus Christ has to do here? It's a resurrection. Dead emotions stored in the name of idolatries, in the name forget, etc. The process of retrieval is to pull them up to the surface of the conscience and then go. If it's a mistake, man of sin, ask forgiveness, follow it with a good deed. If it's something good, try to attribute it to the Creator. That's the resurrection. You are resurrecting your own emotions. That's Jesus' frequency, peace be upon him, on every human being. He did not come to show people a kind of like a spectacle, as people try to find like some kind of spectacle or a theater. He came to tell you that each person has this kind of ability to do certain things. And that's an intrapersonal. The last personal, the last dimension, which is interpersonal with people, socio-ethical. Now, this is a very important one. Me, originally, if you take a remote control, you rewind a human being back, you find him one. I am the Adam, one. Could you possibly speak about empathy, inside empathy, sympathy, generosity, reliability, and then could you possibly speak about these things? You cannot speak because it necessitates otherness in order for you to show these kind of. So, there where everything is inside. How many? Those moral values, how many? I don't know. A lot. No, I'm asking, would like, because the dictionary is inside me. But the dictionary is deaf. And the pages are cold. Very cold. So I closed it and put it on the table. Now I'm looking for something. We don't have. So why don't we lose one word that's going to recapitulate everything, which is that word. That's a very mysterious word. Oh God, where is it? Do you know how to spell it? L as in Larry, O Oscar, V Victor, E Edward. Anyway, that's it, love. Yeah. Then there is the second and the third and the fourth and the seventh, and that's multiplicity. This human being is existing, but he was one. There is the second detached from him. There is a second and the third. We like it or we don't like it. We cross each other. We deal with each other. We call coexistence. We cross the brains, they cross each other. The brain, they debate with each other. Sometimes harmony, sometimes conflict, sometimes it's like this. I'm going to give an example. I repeat an example. My topic is not about a pedestrian. It's just an example of priority. Two people are crossing each other. I said the human being was detached from him. This distance, this detachment, what was it meant for? From here to here. What was meant for something to be filled up with, to be replaced, not to stay vacant, to stay like this. No, there's something inside. We're going to get to it. Two pedestrians. If two people, they give a priority to each other. I'm talking a relationship in general. Buying, selling, talking, listening, crossing. Two pedestrians, we give a physical example so that we can understand it. Both of them, they give a priority. This person has the force of abstention. This one has a force of abstention. Look at that, too. What do we see here between? Grass. Oh, yeah, a ground. No, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking in the brain. That is tolerance. It's a general word. Tolerance, generosity. Well, he didn't give money, but he gave priority. Generosity, it's not necessarily because you gave money. Smile is a generosity. A time for sake of someone, you do it, generosity. You are a generous person. So look at that, what between the two each person has. This place here that was between the two, it belongs to nobody. It's just a human being because of his maybe forgetfulness, maybe ignorance. He claims space. He claims he has nothing, and he claims the time. Now, let's say two people, different mentality. One is kind of losing, offensive, hostile. Another person, no. He is a tolerant person. What did this person, the generous person, he left, there were 2 square meters. He left them to the other one. What did he do? The other one took them. I'm talking about priority. 2 pedestrians. This person gave. He left how much? Look at that. There were 2 meters, square meters. Inside his brain, look what happened. He gave. Look what happened in his brain. Look the dimension in his brain. This person is a kind of, as you can see today, the way people, the way they drive. You know, the flow of the traffic is the flow of the emotions. That's how it is. You see people how nothing, you know what I'm saying? You cannot imagine, especially during like rush hours, trains. Look at the way they are. So this person don't go to the extreme. You say, if I don't jump into the subway, I'm not going to get in our place. We're talking about an intellectual world. Try to understand. We're not talking about like changing the system. We're not here to change the system. What does he have inside this person? A dimension. Now, this dimension was probably unconsciously for a person who has not exactly or necessarily at that moment. He is conscious before, after. He thinks about when we spoke earlier, you say, fear God anywhere you are. He say, do it, Creator ask you. The dimension won't be 200 kilometers only. It will be expanded with an expansion exponentially. I don't know if it's the correct word. Constantly. If he lives like this. His brain is not systematic. His brain is not characterized by the space outside, by the time, the segment of time outside. His brain is with. I said serotonin is from heaven. What does he have in a piece of land that is in his mind? Fruitful results. We don't go into details. Now, another case, both of them are this one. Look at that. They don't give priority. They don't give this kind of like space, whatever. What do they have? Is there space left? There's no space. There is no space. There is no dimension. Where? On the ground, there is no dimension. Do they have space in the brain? They don't have space in the brain. There's nothing. It's stagnant. Then here comes the red light. No, not the red light. Just an example. Here comes the institution that will punctualize them, that will centralize them, that will give them in how they should behave. It's a power, it's from outside, not willingly from the self. The brain is submitted to, it will be submitted to an idolatry. They live like this, and that's how stressed it is. There will be no dimension as it is. Human being is. Now, this is what you see. If a person is a tolerant person, who is doing, he is in a constantly about these 3 dimensions. As I mentioned earlier, theoethical, psychoethical, and socioethical. Now, I mentioned earlier when I say I'm one, and the second was detached, was created from me. You know, I'm the Adam. Then, this dimension for the one who is conscious, the one who has this presence of mind, it will be filled in his brain with these, call it, as I said, generosity, sympathy, empathy, punctual, besides all these qualities that are englobed by the word love. This person has the harmony. He is enjoying something, nobody can share it with him, the one who is tolerant. That space that this person refused to give it, it will be his. May the Lord open every door in front of you of happiness, and I'll see you soon.